Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. It is day 40 of Sfiras HaOmer, and Mishnah Yomi continues in Shekalim, chapter 6, Mishnah 5. Remember, we've been listing the things that there are 13 of in the temple back in Mishnah Aleph of this chapter. Now here we get into Shlosha Asar shofarot hayu b'mikdash. The 13 shofarot, and recall these are donation boxes. These are boxes to put coins into, and they were shaped like a shofar to prevent people from reaching in, narrow on top, wide at the bottom. V'katuv alehem, and written on these money boxes, tiklin chadatin. The first one was tiklin chadatin, literally shekalim hadashim. So that's Aramaic. Ben Azai said they were written in Aramaic. The next one, v'tiklin atikin, old shekels. The Mishnah will explain these. Kinin, and then birds, bird pairs, really. A ken is a nest. It means a pair of birds. Gozle ola. And the gozlot of the ola, like the birds that go up as an ola. Eitzim, firewood. Levona, frankincense. Number 7, zahav lichporet, zahav for the vessels. Shisha, Nidava, and 6 of them that were for Nidava, for voluntary offerings. Now the Mishnah explains, Tiklin chadatin, new shekels, shkalim chadashim, shebechol shana v'shana. That is the shekels of that specific year. The atikin, the tiklin atikin, is mi shalo shekel ishtakad, someone who did not give his shekel yesterday, meaning yesteryear, shokel l'shana haba. So he gives his shekel the coming year. These would go into the Shari Alishka with the rest of last year's leftover shekels after Karbanot were brought. And we see it's never too late to pitch in and give something to the building fund. Kinin, so kinin, bird pairs, hem turim, that is turtle doves that are over a year old, gozle ola and bnei yona. The gozle ola, that is young pigeons, less than a year old, kulan olot. According to this opinion, all of these birds were going up as an elevation offering consumed on the altar. Div Rabbi Yehuda. That's according to Rabbi Yehuda. Chachami Omri, but the sages say about these bird boxes, kinim, when he put money into the ken box, the kinin box, echad chatat ve'echad ola. That's a pair of birds for people who are obligated to bring a pair of birds, such as a woman who's recently given birth, and there are other situations, certain mitzrayim have to bring these as well, a zava, and they bring a pair of birds. Echad chatat ve'echad ola. And it's not that both of them are olot. One is a chatat, a sin offering, and one is an ola, an elevation offering. The gozle ola, kulan olot. But if you put the money into the gozle ola box, all of those are olot, not one chatas, one ola. Now on to Mishnah Vav, which continues sort of to explain the rest of these donation boxes. Ha'omer harei alai eitzim. Someone says, I'm going to donate for the money. Now remember, there's a pushka, there's a shofar for eitzim. Lo yifchot mishnei gizrin. He needs 2 blocks of wood. And these blocks, the Gemara explains, these are an amma by an amma, and by the thickness of a stick used to smooth out grain that they're measuring. So it's kind of like a square that's a little thinner on one, a cube a little thinner on one side, kind of like a square. They had a standard size for these. Levona, if he's donating frankincense, lo yivchot mikometz, has to be a kometz. That's a significant amount of levona. Zahav, gold, lo yivchot midinar zahav, not less than a dinar coin worth of zahav. That's the smallest gold coin in circulation. Shisha and Nidava. Now these 6 shofarot that were for donations. Nidava me hayu osinba. So what do you do with these donations? Lo chinba olot. They would buy additional offerings that were ola, elevation offerings that would go up on the mizbeach. The basar l'shem. The meat of them would be to Hashem. It was burned. The orot l'kohanim. And the kohanim, the priests that were on duty, got to keep the hides of the carbon ola that were offered while they're on duty. Zeh midrash darish Yehoyada Kohen Gadol. That's the explanation that was brought by Yehoyada the Kohen Gadol, because he reads this pasuk, Asham hu ashom asham lashem. Now this pasuk is inherently contradictory because stam and asham is eaten by kohanim. So a regular carbon asham, a guilt offering, the meat gets eaten by kohanim, but it also says asham lashem, which implies that Hashem kiviyachol consumes the meat as in it's burned up on the mizbeach. So the way Yehoyada Kohen Gadol resolves this contradiction in the pasuk is saying that a donated fund that was like leftover asham money, leftover chatas money, some part of it should go lashem, to be burned on the mizbeach, and some part of it should go to the kohanim, like a regular asham does, meaning the hides would go to the kohanim. And back in the Mishnah, he says, Zeh klal, this is the general rule, kol shehu ba mishum chet to mishum ashma, anything that came as a result of a mistake or a liability or a guilty thing, yilokach bo olot. You should buy with this donation. We're talking about the leftover funds. Like someone had to bring an asham. So they brought their asham, but they had leftover money that they'd saved towards the asham. They put it in this nedava shofar, and yilokach bo olot. So they'll bring an olah from them, habasar l'shem, and the meat will be burned on the mizbeach for reach nihoach to Hashem. Va'orot l'kohanim, and the kohanim get the hides. Nimsru shnei ketuvim kayamim. So we have upheld both parts of this pasuk. Because the pasuk said at the end, Asham Lashem, part goes to Hashem, Asham Kohanim. It also said Asham, and regular Asham is to Kohanim. So then you've made everybody happy in a way. And the Mishnah concludes, Ve'omer, someone who says, Kesef Asham, Ve'kesef Chatat, Lo Yuva Beit Hashem, LeKohanim Yihu. Now literally this means the money for an Asham or the money for a Chatas isn't brought to Hashem, it's given to Kohanim. Now it doesn't really make sense, because if somebody's saving up money because he has to bring a chatat or an asham, well, he's going to buy a carbon for that and bring it on the mizbeach as an offering. So what it means is sort of leftover monies that were saved for the purpose of a chatat or an asham or the like. Those leftover monies get spent on olot, and the hides are kept by the kohanim to satisfy this pasuk. Yashar kochachim and sei gesund.